Hello, you're watching Monday's edition of News Mongolia. Today is January 17th. For our top stories, 2022, the year of friendship and exchanges between Mongolian and Japanese children and youth. Coal briquette factory blamed for environmental pollution. The capital city has a 2-month supply of PCR diagnostic kits. For other news, stay tuned. On Monday, the Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases provided its latest updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia.
The Ministry of Health today reported that 1,673 new COVID-19 cases were detected after tests were carried out at PCR laboratories across the country. One woman aged over 80 died of COVID-19 complications in the past 24 hours. All new cases were confirmed domestically, out of which 1,083 were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar and 590 were confirmed in the provinces. 7,548 COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals nationwide. Additionally, 33,670 patients are being treated at home. Among the patients being treated at hospitals, 2,235 are showing mild symptoms of illness and 52 are in critical condition. As of now, nearly 2.17 million people have had 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine and 36.4 thousand have had the 4th dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. The anticipated COVID-19 peak is to be reached around Lunar New Year. Hence, officials warn the public against the risk of getting exposed to the virus, and it is advising people not to celebrate the holiday widely.
Due to the cold weather, the demand for coal briquettes among Gir area residents has increased, with queues forming at points of sale. Not enough briquettes are being delivered to sales locations to meet consumer demands. Challenges are also emerging at the site of the city's coal briquette factory, with households living nearby calling for its relocation due to air and soil pollution.
This is the area with a 500-meter radius of the coal briquette factory. The houses in the neighborhood are covered with soot and coal dust. The neighborhood's residents say they have been suffering from respiratory diseases and that children have no safe place to go outside and play. Moving the Western plant outside of the city has been proposed many times, a move that neighboring residents support.
It is badly affecting people's health.
Oh, it's really polluted here.
The amount of pollution exceeds acceptable norms.
Every resident of Ulaanbaatar has the constitutional right to live in a safe and secure environment. Those who have proposed the factory's relocation say the move is crucial to the health and safety of residents. Tavan Толгой Fuel LLC coal briquettes are sold at 281 contracted sales locations in the capital city. 34 subcontractors deliver 5 tons of fuel per day to the points of sale. The Ministry of Energy notes the construction of a new plant should be completed before relocating the operations of the existing plant.
Cabinet is already discussing the relocation of the Western plant. But in order to do so, we should complete the construction of a plant with similar capacity, one that's able to cover the demand for coal briquettes. This task will be completed step by step. Initially, the crushing equipment was installed above ground. Last year, we moved the equipment and reinstalled it below ground in order to reduce dust.
A proposal to relocate the Western plant to the Nalakh area has been submitted several times, but no noticeable measures have been taken to move the proposal forward.
Thanks for watching MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
On the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and Japan, the President of Mongolia met with Japanese ambassador to Mongolia, Kobayashi Hiroyuki. Expressing his satisfaction with the announcement of 2022 as a year of friendship and exchanges between Mongolian and Japanese children and youth, President Khrushchev expressed his commitment to the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. Ambassador Kobayashi said that preparations have been made to celebrate the anniversary throughout the year. The historic anniversary will be marked with reciprocal high-level visits and numerous events for children and youth. The two parties also discussed ways to boost trade, investment and business cooperation. Ambassador Kobayashi said that the national 1 billion trees campaign initiated by President Hursuk is an important and timely step being taken to combat climate change, and stated that he would closely collaborate in this area.
With the number of people infected with the coronavirus soaring, the number of people being tested has risen sharply. Queuing at the test site early in the morning and standing outside for long periods of time increases the risk of infection.
Between 9 and 12 o'clock, people are waiting outside the Sukhwata District General Hospital to get coronavirus tests. The first person in line came at 5 o'clock in the morning. The first 20 people to arrive are being tested by PCR, and the remaining 60 people are being tested using rapid tests. The rest of the people who did not get tested have to come early in the next morning to check if they were infected. If you don't get a test as soon as possible, everyone will get sick before they even get their tests. When I came to get a PCR, I was told that I can only get a rapid test. Only 20 people before me are receiving PCR tests.
I've heard that 14 to 15 people a day were given PCR test and the rest are given a rapid test. I arrived at 6:50 a.m. and I'm the 50th person in line. I have a fever right now, still I have to stand in line.
I had a fever and felt uncomfortable, so I thought I'd give it a try. Anyway, I just had a PCR test. If you don't come early in the morning, you can't. Coronavirus testing is being conducted in 6 central districts of the capital city. At 1.50 PCR tests per day were free. However, the Ulaanbaatar City Health Department reported that no rapid testing was provided at these sites. Residents can also get a quick checkup and register for a test at family medical centers. Regular testing is no longer valid. We looked at our resources and came up with the number 50 with at least 2 to 3 months of reserves. If symptoms persist, you can contact a nearby PCR test site, or if it's not possible, a paid PCR laboratory. The Ministry of Health stated that not every citizen is required to undergo a PCR test. If a family member shows signs of infection, they can also be tested at a local testing center or family health center. Citizens are queuing up for a mandatory PCR testing, which increases the risk of infection. Therefore, experts recommend that you follow an infection control regime to avoid putting yourself and others at risk.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. You have watched Monday's edition of News Mongolia. Thanks for staying with us. We'll see you again with more news updates. Stay tuned.